Skills' relationship with U.S. Youth Soccer is like a great teammate on the field. Skills is the leader in athletic training and performance content. U.S. Youth Soccer is the leader in providing opportunities for development and identification for youth athletes across the country.
What we set up with U.S. Youth Soccer is a short format combine. We thought that with the ODP teams being here for the championships, it'd be a great opportunity to not only introduce what Skills is doing with U.S. Youth Soccer in a more intimate format, but to give them a taste of some of the testing and the player eval that we hope to roll out this summer.
So the kids today are going to go through a number of testing protocols to test their ability, and then in turn Skills is going to give them an evaluation to allow them to know what they could do to perform better and then ultimately enhance their performance on the field.
Really, it's about education and fusion as well. So putting them through the tests is one thing, and I think a lot of the kids who participate in events these days are lucky if they walk away with the numbers. We wanted to take it a step further and give them the data, all the data breakdown, and then comparative data compared to the field. So understanding how they did individually and compared to everybody who participated today.
Being a competitive soccer player, you have to know perfect technique and how to do things, and they kind of just told us what we need to work on and what we need to improve on to become a better, more competitive soccer player.
The more information and the more opportunities we can give to young people to start at an early age. And I found it's just that functional movement that they get. They move freer, there's less injury. So the opportunity for more kids to take a part of this and get the information back as to how they can get better. I think that's one thing I can tell you. When you work with athletes at this level, they're all motivated on wanting to get better. And it's, everybody wants to get that little bit of an edge. Well, what is that little bit of an edge? Well, when you come out here and you say, hey, I can reduce my reaction time, I can quicken my lateral change of direction by just some technique and some strength training. Now all of a sudden that could be the little bit of a difference between making a national pool or just being a regional team player. So I think getting this information out, not just to those kids, but then those kids who are trying to get to that level, trying to make a state team or trying to get to the college level, that could be the difference. A half of a second or an extra step there can make a big difference in their performance.
We've given a chance for them to look at some of the information on the big screen, see what all that information meant between their 10-yard split, 30-meter split, and then the 40-yard dash. And understanding just even some technique and some minor changes, some of them were able to shave off anywhere from half a second to 3/4 of a second. So you're seeing kids just improve right on the spot. It was encouraging to see the reaction on their face, knowing that the knowledge and the education helped them just even in a matter of 5 minutes.
One of the big things we're doing with Skills is that we don't just want to talk about the athletes and their performance just on the field. We want to layer in that cognitive side. So through our partnership with Axon, together we're layering in all aspects of the athlete. So now that we've got the testing as far as their performance on the field, and then also with the Axon side, the cognitive side, so the kids can see how fast they can react and respond to different circumstances. So it's really a complete test for the kids.
We all know the physical side is where a lot of kids capitalize growing up. So they excel at the game because they've grown quicker than others, and then a lot of them will rest on that for years to come. But we know that the real winners that get separated through the years, from high school on to college, there's a separation there. There's a difference between the leaders and the people who can make the decisions. Our partnership with Axon Sports, again in conjunction with U.S. Youth Soccer, was aimed at tackling really the cognitive piece. So what it meant to now be able to make the decisions on cue instinctively rather than calculating. And so part of the Axon piece was to create a baseline. We're going to build training products that basically train the brain to react and make those decisions. All the processes are made from here on out. So what your eyes see, your brain processes, your body does. Shortening the time for that to happen is our goal.
It's about the reaction time. And certainly they're doing a little bit of a lateral change or a reaction drill where they see a light. It'd just be like if you're going one direction and the ball gets crossed and you have to quickly change your direction, you have to drop. So now that lateral crossover step is going to become very critical. And how long does it take for you to process that information and then get your body to react to that? And so to be able to do that in a little bit more of a fun environment where you got some lights flashing and you get to see the data, I think is a little bit more calming. But then you paint that picture of how that translates to your performance on the field. And now when you see them, when they change that, if you just get them to start to think about that, then all of a sudden now that reaction time will become quicker.
Skills is fortunate enough now to support everything from All-American Bowl games, national combines for football. This year we were part of the NFL Combine. It's all the same approach. What we wanted to do is bring that same experience to U.S. Youth Soccer. It is something that we plan on doing with them as an exclusive partnership. But the level of testing, the education that's getting built in, and ultimately the prescription that gets derived from all of this by using the information, the data itself, none of that changes from this level all the way and up the ladder. What we didn't want to do is water things down all of a sudden where, okay, this is the NFL top down, let's water it down for everybody else at the youth level. It's just as important. The information is hiding there in the data. And for us to help correlate and interpret that information so that people understand it, gives everybody the opportunity to train with some level of intelligence. And that's what it is. It's just not, let's do ladder drills, let's run, let's get on the field and do repetitions just for the game's sake. It's approaching it with some manner of intelligence, some methodical way, where now the time used and the efficiency driven through practice, and gameplay ultimately changes the way they approach the game.